Hi everyone, I'm NATO King and welcome back to Gobliiins 4. Last time, we gathered all of our party members and finally made it to the king's castle. So now all we have to do is go inside and talk to the king, and find out what we've got to do. There's a lot to this, isn't there? And unfortunately he hasn't lowered the drawbridge for us, so we'll have to ask this Frode for help. Well, like it said in the intro, he'll talk to anyone even if they can't talk back. And speaking of back, that's where we need to go. We'll hop on the back of the Frode, and then mess with this beehive over here. And it's just that easy to get across the moat. Not that there's a whole lot to do over on the other side of the moat, at least not on our own. But there is a stick we can pick up. Tough to spot, but I promise it's there. And off in the distance is pretty much the last gold tooth I think that's going to be just out in the open, easy to spot. So with those two things in hand, there's not a lot that we can do. We need to get up on top of the castle wall. And for that, we'll need a little magical assistance. Fortunately, we only need one character at the beehive, so we can get the other two both onto this side of the moat. And Per Louis can levitate this giant rock for absolutely no purpose whatsoever. We need to use this little flat stone over here as our means of getting up to the top of the castle wall. And once here, we'll be able to check out this tower. Well, let's show the guard our summons. That's why we're here, after all. Alright, so we need to get over to the other tower and get that guard on our side. Unfortunately, I can't do that with the characters we've got here. So what we're going to need to do is send somebody back across. And Per Louis will be able to get the bee out of the beehive so that Stucco can ride the Frode over the moat. And he can push the giant rock into position. I know I'm kinda skipping stuff, but by the end of this video we're going to have to go through a very, very long and tedious room, so I'm trying to save a little bit of time. So now the rock is reduced to the flat area on top, and whenever we find a flat area, we can place the stepladder. And now we just need to extend it. And at last, we can speak to the guard in the opposite tower. Wouldn't this just be awful if only Stucco could knock on the towers? Well, the problem is that both of the guards are going to have to be active at once. Fortunately, they've both seen the letter, so we don't need to show it to them again. But we are going to need Per Louis over on that side of the moat. And to be honest, I could send Stucco back and have Choop go up the top of the tower, but I wanted to show you that we can send any pair of characters across the moat. by using the stick to get the bee out of the hive. So Pere can send anybody up to the left tower, and he needs to be the one to climb up to the right tower. And finally, with proper timing, I think that was proper timing. There we go. And yeah, that's it. That's everything that we need to do in this particular level. But we are going to have to pick up the stepladder on our way out. It's our constant companion, so we always have to bring it with us. So now we just have to get all 3 characters inside the castle, and we're on our way. Goodbye, Frode. You were a good friend. But it seems like the king is not entirely himself at the moment. Well, let's find out what's wrong for a start. Well, how do we console a crying king? I know, we break his vase. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. We'll just go ahead and clean up our mess. And what we really need to do is just cast magic on them while they're intact. And hey, there's the gold tooth right there under it. And under the other one, we'll find something a little more useful. There's a key. We're not going to need that until much later, but might as well grab it now. So there's a giant bookshelf in the back, but not a whole lot that we can interact with on it. And that door doesn't seem to be a door. We need to ring this gong up in the corner. That's what we need to do. But we'll need to hit it with something, and we've got a stick for that purpose. Alas, we can't jump high enough to hit it. So we're going to need to push that ladder over there. And now we'll be able to climb up and hit the gong. To summon this guy, the Grand Steward Gobliiins, whose name you might remember if you've been paying attention. So we need to find the joke book somewhere in the library. And right behind where Père Louis was standing, there's a tiny inscription. Riri is totally sick and tired of fetching a ball. I suppose that would have made a bit more sense in a few minutes. Anyway, let's see if we can figure out which book is the joke book. We'll just toss a little magic in the direction of the bookcase. And there it is, over on the shelf on the left. He's inaccessible. Which is French for, "'Tis beyond my reach." But that's exactly what ladders are for. So now that we've got the joke book, we can cheer up the king. And he's sad again. So Riri is the king's pet aardvark who's been missing for 2 months. Well, let's just find out more. So we don't necessarily need to bring Riri back, just some proof that he's happier where he is now. And you've got to talk to the king 3 times to find out that he needs a photo album from the bookcase to get a picture of Riri. So we'll need to find the photo album. There it is, way up in the left corner. So we'll just grab that, bring it to the king, and get a picture of the aardvark we're supposed to find. Alas, we can't reach that high. Nor can we knock it down with the stick and just pick it up from the ground. What we need to do is use our magic to levitate the ladder. And that brings it within reach. Now, I don't know why we can't just keep the photo album, but we need to bring it back to the king so that he can give us a single photo. And look, it's exactly the same as the one that's right above him. So now we've got our mission. What else do we need to do? The king said we need to talk to the Grand Steward. So let's ring the gong and get him back out here. And let's go ahead and pit magic against magic, just for the heck of it. Alright, not very successful. Maybe the king will like our tricks a bit more. We are not amused. Maybe he is. Tough to say. But we'll find out what else we can get out of the Grand Steward. Well, what makes us think we're good enough to work for... He gave us a summons. Well, now will you help us? No, still not. Well, maybe, just maybe, a show of physical strength is what's required here. Yeah, I can see you'd get pretty angry about that. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to punch out the king. But for completeness... Right. So the quest that Père Louis was sent on was to get this crown. We got the crown, so let's return it to the guy who sent us to get it in the first place. So there, we can accomplish quests. Yeah, and now after all that, we need to find the royal ledger. So once again, we'll use our book identification spell. And there it is, top and center. The problem is, we can't get the ladder to stop at that book. However, there is one more book on the bookcase that we can interact with. A weighty tome right there on the bottom shelf. And when we pull it out, that should stop the ladder from rolling past. So we just get Choop to climb up on the ladder and give it a push. I agree. That was pretty funny. But it'll be more productive to try that from the opposite side. Okay, we'll get everyone in position. There we go. So in the end, we got the ledger. And now we just have to walk all the way back around to give it to the Grand Steward from the lower floor. Alright, so he's given us some money, and now I think that's everything we need. Except the door is still inaccessible, even if I get stucco out from in front of it. There's something I'm missing here. Let me try summoning the Grand Steward yet again. Alright, so finally he's told us to go into the room. Now we should be able to get in. But just in case, let's make sure he doesn't have anything else to say to us. Yeah, I'd say we're pretty much done here. So finally we can get into the door to Riri's room. Yeah, the pattern behind the door doesn't show up in the reflection on the floor, but that's okay. We're not going to be looking at it for very long anyway. And at last, our quest begins! Level 6. Yeah, this room's pretty busy. There's a ton of stuff to do in here. Yeah, playing with the ball isn't going to be very productive. So let's just pick up some of this stuff that's sitting around on the floor. The machine key, which quite obviously is going to go to the big machine in the center of the room. And we got a keyhole, but let's see if we can just talk to the bear first. It's the Teddy Ruxpin from hell. Alright, so let's wind him up so that he can tell us a story. Alright, so he decided to run away, but he knows we're on his tail. So let's wind it up again and find out what he's going to do about that. He's going to give us a clue to following him. Star equals 1. Whatever the heck that means. But certainly we're going to have to find a number of additional numbered clues. So let's get started by looking at this message that was hidden under the ball. Moon equals 5, so we're still missing 2 through 4 at the very least. Hopefully this isn't one of those cases where they release the 3 pigs into a room labeled 1, 3, and 4 and send people crazy looking for number 2. There's something written on the label inside the bottle. We won't be able to read it without getting the label off the bottle, so let's just smash it. Strangely enough, punching is not the solution to this problem. But we can kick the ball, and we've knocked Riri's portrait off the wall. Sun equals 3, so we're still missing 2 and 4. But the other thing we can do here is levitate the bottle right into the path of the ball. And now we should be able to read the label. Flower equals 4, so we're just missing number 2. Now there's also this jack-in-the-box over here. It runs with the same machine key as the bear. And when something pops up, we need somebody to stand on the lid. And it clearly can't be Choop, because he has to activate the box. So we'll just get Stucco to stand on this convenient platform here. And it's yet another thing that we can levitate with magic. And then we have to quickly use the machine key, because he'll just jump down on his own if we don't. And there's a very, very tricky thing that we need to do from here. I honestly don't know how you're supposed to figure this out, but if we punch the jack in the box, there's the gold tooth for this level. But while Stucco is up there, let's mess with the teddy bear. And we've got a bit of parchment. Swirl equals 6. So there are even more clues, but we're still missing 2. So we'll bring Stucco back down. He's done everything he can do up in the upper left. And we'll give the bear a punch. Yeah, the book pops open. And once again, we just need somebody to stand on top of it. Well, that launched Choop up to the upper right. But he can't do anything with a king while he's there. grab a second figurine. We've got Choop and we've got Stucco. And there's clue number 2. Oh. But I still don't know what to do with those clues. And he's also kind of stuck up there. So we'll need to make a way for him to get down. And also, since that's a pole, Stucco can climb up. Since he can't launch himself up to that platform. And there was a safe hidden behind the picture. What do you know? We just need to find the combination to it. So to do that, there's one more way to launch a character. We'll get Choop to stand on the storybook, and Perlouis levitate it. And now we can get this little chess pawn in the corner. We simply have to put that on the chess board. And that causes the Perlouis figurine to appear over on the right side. No, none of this makes any more sense to me. But we've got the figurines of all 3 characters, and down on the floor you might notice, among the letters, are the first letters of the names of each character. So we'll put the Choop figurine on the T. We'll put the Perlouis figurine on the P. And Stucco, of course, will occupy the S. And for whatever reason, that makes yet another bit of parchment fall from the ceiling. And that has the safe code. So yes, we do need to send Choop up to the upper right corner twice. Once to grab the Stucco figurine, and then a second time to open the safe. Like I said, this is all pretty tedious. But we got it, and we can finally get to the riches within. A pencil. Now we can start solving the puzzle here, but it occurs to me that I've missed something. I think I forgot to do something while I was in the upper left. So we'll just pop back up there. Yeah, there is a tiny smudge in the corner of the Lost in Time picture in the background. And if we use the magnifying glass, we'll be able to read it. There we go. Flour equals 7. That's the final clue. So now we just need to use the pencil to connect the symbols on the floor in the order of the clues that we got them. And fortunately the game tells us what number is associated with each symbol. And as long as we know 2 adjacent numbers, we just click the pencil on the lower of them, and he'll draw the line to the next one in the sequence. It didn't make the sound that time for some reason. That's better. Yep, that whole thing to tell us this slab is special. Can you guess how we open it? Take a guess. I bet you didn't guess the spoon. It's like such a bland read. This is the tunnel Riri used for his escape. Wait, that's exactly what we were looking for. See, Père Louis gets it. He's air guitaring with the best of them. So we found Riri's secret tunnel. No, I will not be singing the secret tunnel song. And we'll need to traverse this tunnel to find him, but I think we'll start doing that in the next episode. See ya!